live yet, but I want to say happy Saturday to all of you. I am Stars Tina, and I don't know about you, but life, as they would say, I don't know if I really like this term, but life be lifing, right? I'm just kind of talking because I don't know if the Zoom link, I'm sorry, if the YouTube is up yet. There we go. Boom. Yet. Happy Saturday to you, and also you. I am Stars Tina, and today I've got some really good stuff for you. All right. I just left an amazing community of people. But if you're wondering what this is about, is I thought that some people need community, right? Some people need someone to listen to, someone to talk to. So I decided that not every Saturday, every Saturday, twice a month. I just wanted to get together and have some community and support you because I've been gifted with the ability to have energy. I've been gifted the ability to connect people together in community and just kind of empower people, right? So this particular event today, it's going to be open forum, just kind of see how it flows. But the main thing I want to do is leave you with some type of transformation. It all started with fitness for me, right? I run an online fitness boutique studio, and we had an amazing meeting this morning. I learned so much when I'm with my tribe, right? And on Saturdays, we kind of go with the flow. I woke up this morning and I wanted a hard hit 'em type of workout, but then one of the ladies came through and she was, she's like, I don't want to show my face. I just want to be here, and stay in the background, of course. She ended up staying on, showing her face, and we're talking about morning and evening rituals because even though we know we should do them, we don't really do them all the time, or we'll skimp on them every now and again. So I say that today, it's very important that what you want in life, that you're true to it, right? So today I'm going to tap into a little bit about morning and evening rituals and then time blocking, because I know for me, I'll time block and then it'll change and then this. And if we have things in order, it just makes everything in our life so much easier. So if you didn't know, I am a life and health coach. I like to also say trauma informed coach, because when it comes to people that have dealt with some type of trauma in their life, it's challenging to talk to someone, right? You're very withdrawn. You might have anxiety, depression. You don't trust people easily, right? And today I just got back from the park. My church, they have a group, and it's a small group. And the name of it is The Body Holds the Score. And the purpose of this book, it's a 6 or 8 week program, I don't know, and it just reads the book as it goes through it. And if you've ever heard the book, read the book, it's a hard read, okay? It's a hard read. I actually listened to it a couple of years ago. Write in the chat if you've ever heard of this book, not written this book, if you've ever heard this book, if you read this book, let me know. Those of you, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're out there in YouTube land, let me know if you've ever heard of this book. If I had my books behind me, I'd show it to you. But The Body Holds a Score by Vander Bessel. Forgive me for not knowing his name all the way. But in this book, it's very intellectual, right? They talk about the brain and the mind, and they talk about the war and psychiatric wards. And today we were talking about chapter 7 and chapter 8, and they were talking about children, how if they're neglected, if they don't get the love, how when they're adults, it's very hard for them in relationships. It's very hard for them to share, to speak, to open up. And one of the things that really not shocked me, but they were saying, if you look at an adult, and you see maybe they overeat, maybe they're overweight, maybe they overwork, maybe they're just like, they do a whole lot, right? They're probably hiding something. They're trying to cover something up. Sorry about that. That's my daughter. And she gets the love. So I'm going to say hello to her. You guys want to say hi? Hey, beautiful. I just want to see your face. I'm kind of doing a live right now, but I wanted to see your face and say I love you and all that great stuff. I'll call you back.
All right.
Bye. You guys will realize that when you have children, right, time is so precious. And anytime I get an opportunity to see my daughter's face, I'm going to grab it. So forgive me. But anyway, I was talking about the importance of when you were a child, right? Some of the things you may have gone through, and they were talking about neglect. If a child doesn't get hugged, if a child doesn't get told they're loved or anything like that, when they're an adult, it's going to really affect them, right? And I was sharing with the ladies, our bodies hold the pain from 7 generations. So if you're ever wondered, like, why does that person trigger me? Or why do those words trigger me? Or why does that smell trigger me? And you don't know, well, it's something from behind you. And then it was talking about overeating and overworking. And that right there, like, really ding, ding, ding for me. Sometimes we think we're healed. And I personally think we're never totally healed. My personal opinion. Why? Because we're always growing, right? Just when you get to one level, there's more stuff to unpack. It's like when you travel somewhere and you find out, man, I didn't realize that my father did blah, blah, blah. Boom, that's more baggage you're getting rid of. Man, I didn't realize my sister did blah, 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 and it affected me in this way. So we're always growing and we're always moving forward. And I always say, like when it comes to therapy, let me know who out there has ever gone to therapy before. If you've ever been to therapy, then you know they get you to a certain level. If you don't know, I'm gonna tell you, all right? You have a therapist and they have certain skills that they know, that they understand, that they know. And they can only take you to a certain level with their ability. If you've been in therapy 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you're not growing, you're not advancing, well, you probably need to go to another therapist. You may have outgrown your therapist, and now they're your friend. Now you're kind of like they've taught you as much as they can teach you. And I remember my last therapist, oh my gosh, I loved her. I was like, I want to be your friend. I tried to find her on Instagram. I tried to find her all over, but she's like, we can't be friends. And I was like, I was so sad. So sometimes you have to let go and find another one that can teach you other things. So I'm going to look in the chat right now to see questions, comments, if you agree, if you disagree with me when I'm talking about the body holds a score. If you have any questions, let me know. And I see we got somebody on YouTube watching. Hello to you, Carlisa and Joyce. I don't know if you guys are here, but if you're here, so grateful to have you all. So I want to give you a couple of tips and share what Elevate 360 is. And I threw out Elevate 360 because I have actually rebranded my company for various reasons. Elite Stars is the name of my business, and it actually started a long time ago. 15, 16 years ago was when I actually first started my company. And it's like anything in my life. If I see something going on and I can do it better, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, all right? And my daughter was in a fashion show. And let me tell you, it was a great fashion show, but the back end of it was horrible. It was horrible. First of all, it was in New Jersey, in Plainfield, New Jersey. And it was a winter month. All I know was it was cold. It was like 20 something degrees outside. That is cold. And let's just say the venue had no heat. There was no heat and it was cold. There was no electricity in the dressing room. So we had to when we were trying to do the model's hair, that wasn't working. It was a hot mess. But my daughter had a lot of fun doing it, right? I enjoyed supporting her as she got ready for the fashion show because before it, we had practices every week. It was probably like a month or probably 2 to 3 months before the actual show. And every week we would have rehearsal. And if you didn't know, when I was younger, I used to do pageants and fashion shows myself. So that's how I got my whole, makeup, walk, all that stuff. Same thing with my daughter. So every week we would come in and they would teach her how to walk. They would teach her how to pose. They would teach her how to do all these things. So I was like, man, I love doing this. So I actually did my own show. And have you ever been afraid to do something? I don't know about you, but the very first show, I was super scared. I was like, what if I don't sell any tickets? What if I didn't care about making money. I didn't care. I just wanted a great show. So I tend to give way, way, way more than what is expected. So it was going to be just a fashion show. But I said, you know what, Tina, let's have an after party because kids love after parties, right? I was like, if you don't do good with the fashion show, at least the after party will be good and it'll be a lot of people. And let me tell you guys, it was so many people, the police had to come and shut it down and say, no more people allowed. And I say that to say, in life, when you have something in your heart that you truly want, you just have to focus, right? Let's play a game really quick. Do this for me right now. Pretend like you have binoculars. Come on, get those hands up. I can see you. Put your hands up like you have binoculars. And I want you to look into your future. And what do you see? Right? Do you see a brand new car? Do you see a home? Do you see a husband? Do you see your own private jet? Do you see yourself laying on the beach on vacation? What do you see? You have to focus. Now, I probably can't hear you, but I want you to say focus. Repeat after me. Focus.
Focus.
Oh, I got a first one. On your future to get to the top. Let's do that one more time. Focus on your future to get to the top. And then I'm going to ask you, where are you going? Where are you going, guys? To the top. Where are you going?
To the top.
Why? You know why you're going to the top? Because the top is less congested. The bottom, everyone's there like sardines, just like trying to get around. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. No, mamacita. I want to go to the top. But guess what? You have to be powerful. You have to be strong. You have to have all these great qualities, which you have because God has gifted them to you. So I talked about morning and evening rituals. That's the first takeaway I want you to take from today. And Elevate 360, what we do, I didn't realize it, guys, but we do it all, right? And I'm so pumped for November, right? Elevate 360 is a community. It is a brand. It is a movement, all right? For years, I didn't even realize it. I've been doing movements. Renee and myself, I remember a couple years ago, we were talking about 100 women. I don't remember, but we had this vision of making a movement to transform the world with health and wellness because so many people struggle with high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. Did you know that heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States? Did you know that? Heart disease, something that can be eliminated. You can eliminate heart disease by eating better, by exercising, by drinking more water, by stopping the stress, by getting some rest, all of these things. And that's the foundation of our company, right? And it's upscale, it's luxury. It's for people that want to take their life to the next level, whether it's your relationships, your finances, your money, whatever it is, right? So in November, we're building up to get there is we're having a movement for women that really want to change the world, not just for yourself, but for other people, right? Because it's all about your why. Your why has to be so big, it makes you cry. Your why has to be so big, you can't do it by yourself. And that's for me. Like my wife, I've got my people here. And we all have to be strong. We all have to be responsible because I believe God has chosen certain people in the world to help him out, right? He's got soldiers. And I guess there's women soldiers. But God has chosen certain people to make certain changes. As we were in our group today, we're sitting there and we were talking about personalities. And they were saying, you know, how I'm energetic. And one girl was like, yeah, we need people like you because, you know, she's like, the other girl next to her says she's very quiet. And she's like, I'm just regular, you know, humble, but we need people like you to pull that out of us because not everyone has this personality. And this is the ripple effect. I talk about the ripple effect all the time. The ripple effect is like a rock and you throw it in the water. And if you get it to scoot, that's cute. I can't do that. But if you notice, when you throw a rock in the water or lake, not the ocean, the lake, you see one ripple, then another. It's like keeps going and going and going. And that's my goal, is to just be a ripple effect to change the world. But we have to start right here with your mindset. That's what Elevate 360 is all about. And we do it with fitness. Like I said, we have our online fitness studio. We have classes Monday through Saturday. 5:30 in the morning. And I love how we've transitioned and add a little bit of praise and worship before we work out every morning, just to like get the body going. So if you're looking for a community to work out with and have, you know, beautiful faith-based community, this is it for you. And then I realized there's some people who want to go a little bit deeper. Like I said, we're looking for leaders and everyone has a story to share. So we do group coaching, we do workshops like this one right here. And let me check to see if we have any questions in the chat that you'd like me to share upon. I see Pella. How you doing, Pella? Any questions? All right. So as I was saying, in the community, my goal is to pull the gifts out of each person. And I've always done that no matter what I did. I love working with children. When I had my modeling company, I wanted to find out what talent, what gift did a child have naturally? And if you go back to your childhood and you say, you know what? I remember I played the flute. I didn't want to be a professional flute player. I wanted to be an actress. I went to a performing arts school. I played the flute there, but I always wanted to act. I loved acting. I went to college for acting, and I guess maybe that's why I have such an outgoing personality and it was fun, right? So I think it's very important that you're able to share your story, share what you're doing. So with my coaching program, it just has everything combined with it to help with this movement. So the coaching starts with fitness, and whether it's one-on-one, whether it's group coaching, you decide whichever one you want, but it's all about that mindset. And I realized a lot of people like to share their stories. I love speaking. So I also do group coaching and one-on-one coaching for speakers. So if you're a speaker and you're like, girl, can you please help me? I just want to speak on my YouTube channel. I just want to have a podcast. Maybe you want to be able to speak at your work meetings because you're like timid. Maybe you do Mary Kay and you're not able to get any new customers because you can't speak. Maybe you're nervous around your family. Maybe you're nervous around people. It doesn't matter. But when you join our community, it is a safe space, right? We have a speaking group, and I got to be honest with you guys. Sometimes I get a little frustrated because I'm a go-getter. I'm like, come on, let's make it happen. Come on. And when people don't reply, it really frustrates me. But I'm like, girl, realize that everyone has their own battles. Everyone has their own things that they're going through. And in this speaking group, we have all sorts of ages, races, types, age, whatever, and everyone is learning from one another. So if you would like to join the speaking group, go ahead and do that. And then I found, as I mentioned, I've written a couple of books. And the book shares a little bit of my story, which is my major traumedy. And a traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide, life-changing experiences occur. Everybody goes through a traumedy, but how do you pull yourself out of that traumedy, right? And that's what my book is about. It shares how you can do that through breath work, journaling. Also, it's about 20 or 30 different things you can do. And then after that book, I made one for children. Traumedy No More for Kids, because children go through traumedies as well. And in this particular book, there's 3 foundations for this book. The first one is to teach children to understand what they're feeling, because even adults, you're like, I don't know how I feel. And sometimes you don't. The other day, someone says, well, what are you feeling, Tina? I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I'm just here and blah. And maybe you have to sit back and really register, oh, I was mad because you didn't call me at such and such time. I was mad because this didn't happen. So that's the first thing we teach them, is how to understand what you're feeling. Because once you understand it, guess what? Then you can express it. So the second thing we teach them is how to express how they're feeling, whether it's to their teachers, to their friends, to their parents. Because when you let someone know how you're feeling, oh, baby, that's where communication starts. And communication is the key to everything. It solves everything. I don't care what the situation is. You have that conversation, it's going to work. And maybe you have someone and they don't want to talk. They run away, they scream, they shout, they hang up the phone. Well, you know what? If that's what they want to do, let them go. Their emotional intelligence isn't where it needs to be. If you find yourself yelling and screaming, like, are you really being heard? No. So as I said, the first thing, we teach them how to understand what they're feeling. The second thing, how to express it. And then the third way, well, these are some things you can do when you're anxious, when you're depressed, when you're stressed or anger or anything like that. We give them tools and skills. That's that book. And then I've been thinking about this anthology for a while now, because I know, again, a lot of people have stories within them and they have to get them out. Why? Because when you get it out of your system, you can breathe. You're releasing all the pains from inside. So this book is going to be called No More Traumedy, but it's the anthology. So it's going to be a mixture of stories in it. If you have a story within inside of you, you've turned your pain into purpose, your mess into a message, your trauma into a tragedy, into a triumph. I need and want you. All right. This book is coming out in November. And at the end of the retreat, we're having the retreat for 4 days. And then that Saturday, we're having a conference. And at this conference, we're going to highlight all the people in the anthology. And some people said, you know what, girl, I got more than a chapter in me. I need a whole flipping book. So we have some people who are writing their own books, and they'll be there as well. So if you're there, and this is all being published by myself and my supporting partner, Renee, Shooting Stars Publication. And we have a whole coaching program and all that. Whether you started the book, you have nothing with the book, tap into us. Again, all a part of Elevate 360. When you think of that word elevate, I don't know about you, but I'm just like, ooh, elevate. You want to elevate everything you do. And then when I think of 360, it It's the whole mind, body, soul, and everything combined. So let me look in this chat here to see if we have any questions, anything. All right, so we talked about the anthology, and you're probably wondering, well, what type of stories? Trauma, tragedy, but it's got to be an upside to it, right? I was working with someone yesterday, and they were telling me their story, and I was like, dude, we got to have some up level in this story. No one wants to be down in the dirt hearing all this, oh, this happened and that. Nobody wants it. You have to uplift it. Right? And that's what's so cool about our community is we're here for each other. We're here to teach you how to push through all of those things. So if you're just tuning in, we are talking about elevating your life, Elevate 360. And today it's all about facing those fears and pushing through, starting with the foundation of your fitness. From the fitness, you're actually getting coached, right? And guiding other people. I see something here. Let me see what's going on here. They know of a school that could, oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Yes, so I currently live in Tampa, Florida. And yesterday I was speaking with my coach for my nonprofit. She is amazing, by the way. I have a nonprofit as well. The name of the nonprofit is the Jamal Gaines Foundation, and it's in honor of my son. If you did not know, my son was tragically murdered over 9 years ago. And mostly everything I do is in honor of him. And she was giving us some ideas in regards to grants and things like that. And we have a lot of programs. By the way, if you didn't know, this is the children's book right here, Traumedy No More for Kids. And in this book, it's a workbook. And the cool thing about this book is the very beginning is for a teacher, a mom, a cousin, an uncle, and it talks about the brain, right? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I like to know the facts. Yes, it's good to have that heart stuff, but I want the facts. So the first part of the book shares with you why we do what we do, why we think the way we do. And then it breaks it down into a 4-part program, which we've been teaching in schools in Florida and also in New Jersey. So if you live in a certain state and you want to be a brand ambassador, it's not brand ambassador. What was the word she told me? Because I have to hit up Auntie Net today to ask her, what is it called? If you remember, Renee, let me know. Can't remember. But anyway, if you feel that you have a community, whether it's a Girl Scouts group, whether it's a school, after school program, I don't know, and you think this is a great program for you, let me know. And this could be for anyone, right? You can start a virtual one in your church, in your town, wherever you are. I'm looking for leaders. Why? Because we have to change the world. So if you yourself, anyone, you want to do it, 2, 3, 4 people, chapter presidents. So I have someone in mind for New Jersey. I know we have North Carolina in the building. So Miss North Carolina, if you would like to be a chapter president for North Carolina, let me know. All right. All over. I think I've gotten everything now so far, guys. I don't see any questions in the chat. As I said, I have a new platform that I am going to be working with. And I'm so excited. I believe it's called DreamWorks or Inspire Dreams, something like that. I just connected with the person 2 days ago, and I've done some research and I've done some homework with them. And the thing I love about it most, this man, his name is Dan Nzinga. And Dan actually, he lives now in Colombia. He travels all over the place, like 1 month here, 1 month there. And he loves community. He said his father was a pastor. And if anyone here is in church, like if you've been in church and they've got community in church, you've got Wednesday night, you got Friday night, you got choir rehearsal, you got all this. I did a little bit of that when I was a child, so I understand the community, but he said he had that his whole life. So as an adult, he was missing community. So he created this community of different people, like-minded people with all sorts of skills and talents. So in this community, if you need help with your marriage, help with your single life, help with your children, help with your trauma, whatever, it's all sorts of things. And we're joining. So I'm so excited. So I'm going to be replacing these Saturday workshops with his organization. So I'm just excited to just be growing, right? It's all about community and changing the world. And that's what I want us all to do. I think I am complete. I'm going to check again to chapter president will commit to. Yes. What are you committing to as a chapter president? What are you committing to? What does that require? I like that. I like that question. So as a chapter president, you would meet with the board once a month, and we would definitely have an in-person event somewhere, but pretty much you would be in charge of that state, right? And for example, we're getting grants in different states because we're actually based in Texas, even though New Jersey is my hood, right? But say, for example, we get X amount of dollars for New Jersey. Well, that chapter president is responsible for that money. Of course, we have a whole guideline, and you can do it however you want. If you want to actually go into the schools and do an after school program, that's what we're doing in New Jersey. We're doing a hybrid program for New Jersey schools. There's a teacher in the school there who's going to have the students there, and then I'm going to be on the camera here. And perhaps you're not confident enough to do all the talking yourself. Well, do the background work, go to the school. Hey, I've got this program I want to work with. And you can be there like the woman in New Jersey. You can be that in-person person, and I can be that hybrid person, right? Again, it's just sharing, even if it's just once a month, every 2 weeks, whatever it is. But the goal is to just really transform the world. And I know I talked about the children's book, but I cannot forget about this one right here. And that's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to, when I do I think we're starting next week. Yes, it's starting next week. I think I'm going to go from my first book, No More Traumedy. And we're going to go each week. We might do 1 or 2 chapters. I don't know. How many chapters in here? We might do, we're doing 2 chapters. There's 13 chapters. I'll figure it out. But the Saturday classes are all going to be devoted towards the chapters, again, leading to the movement to just transform the world. Well, let me see if there's any more questions. Did I answer your questions about the chapter president? If you're interested in being a chapter president, contact me. Say, hey, I want to be a chapter president for this state right here, because that is definitely great. Great. All right. I think I've covered just about everything. If this is your first time hearing me or seeing me, do me a favor. Do me a small little favor, poquito favor. Subscribe on YouTube. Share it out. Take it. Put it on your Instagram. Put it on your LinkedIn. Put it anywhere and just share, because as I said, my goal is to just transform the world, and I can't do it alone. All righty, guys. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy. I hope I've uplifted you in some sort of way. Otherwise,